This video is about a device you might consider using if you're having trouble finding your activity limits and staying within them. It's called a pedometer. These inexpensive instruments, which generally cost between about $10 and $25, give you an idea of your activity level by counting the steps you take. Pedometers are something that our friend and medical advisor Dr. Lapp, the well-known CFS fibrophysician, recommends to his patients. Dr. Lapp believes that between 1,000 and 5,000 steps a day is a good range for many people with CFS and fibro. If someone has fewer than 500 steps a day, Dr. Lapp usually suggests they gradually increase the number of steps they take. And if someone is over 5,000 steps a day, Dr. Lapp finds that they are usually too active and he advises them to cut back. So let me put the range that he recommends in here. 1,000 to 5,000 steps per day. Because the severity of CFS and fibro varies, the number of steps a person can take will vary from one person to the other. But Dr. Lapp's guidelines imply that 10,000 steps a day, which is an exercise target that is often suggested for healthy people, will be inappropriate for most people with CFS and fibro. The first task with the pedometer is to determine your current activity level and its effects on your symptoms. The goal is to find the number of steps you can take without making your symptoms worse. We call this finding your baseline. I've labeled it there as the first step, finding baseline. If you wear a pedometer for several days, you should get a good idea of how many steps you can take each day, and you can correlate that with your symptom level. Many people who try this conclude that their activity level worsens their symptoms. When they try several different levels, they find that their average number of steps creates a higher level of symptoms than if they take fewer steps. This may be true even if you don't have a formal exercise program. One person we know found that even on days when she didn't go out of the house, she was still taking 1,500 to 2,000 steps. She told us, "No wonder I get tired sometimes and don't think that I've done anything during the day to justify the fatigue. I had no idea how much walking I did." If you find this is true for you, you can experiment to find the number of steps you can take without worsening your symptoms. In summary, the initial goal of using the pedometer is to find your baseline, the number of steps you can take per day without making your symptoms worse. Let me write that in. Total steps without intensifying symptoms. Once you've found your current limit, you can use the pedometer to help you stay within it and escape the cycle of push and crash, doing more when symptoms are low and paying for it with time in bed. That's step 2 here, staying inside limits. One person in our program wrote, "There are many days I feel I can do more, but I've learned that when I do, I crash and burn. My pedometer is a wonderful device for reminding me how much I've done and how much I have left in my energy envelope for that day." So let me write in that you can use the pedometer for monitoring yourself. Over time, it may be possible to expand the number of steps you can take without increasing your symptoms. So that's the third stage, extending limits. There are 2 keys to increasing your steps per day in a sustainable way, and the key word there is sustainable. You want to move forward and stay there, not take one step forward and one step back. The first key is to increase your limit only a little bit at a time. We recommend no more than a 5% increase. For example, if your current safe level is 1,000 steps per day, try expanding it to 1,050 per day. Then stay at that level for at least a week before trying another increase. So let me write that in. Small changes. For example, something like 5%. The second key is to stick with an increase only if it's tolerated by the body. This means that you monitor the effects of any increase and return to your previous level if your symptoms are intensified. So let me write that as tolerated or sustained. People in our program have suggested 2 additional strategies that may be helpful if you want to increase the number of steps you do in a day. The first is to be attentive to the pace or the intensity of your walking. One person told us that she'd learned to stroll rather than march. This tip is related to heart rate, which is discussed in another video. The second strategy is to combine walking and rest. One person who started walking very short distances wrote us that for many months she took a folding stool with her on her walks and stopped for frequent rests sitting on the stool or on benches. Another person who had been advised to walk 30 minutes a day told us that she broke up her walking into 2 or 3 periods of 10 or 15 minutes each. I started using rest myself during my daily walks at a point when I was doing 30 minutes a day. I tried walking for 20 minutes, then sitting down for 20 minutes, and then walking some more. By including a long rest in the middle, it didn't take long for me to expand my walks to 40 minutes a day, and that led to much greater gains over time. Let me conclude with a cautionary note and a summary of the benefits of using a pedometer. Although pedometers can be very useful, they cannot give you a complete picture of your limits. Activity includes mental work and socializing as well as physical activity. Also, symptoms are affected by other factors such as stress, sleep, weather, food, and other medical conditions that you may have in addition to CFS and fibro. That said, a pedometer can be a valuable tool. Summarizing the benefits, one person told us, "Using the pedometer really helps me stay within my limits. The pedometer gives me a measurable way of checking my progress, increasing my activity level in a manageable way, and most importantly, avoiding doing too much."